You can hear me cool, right? Everything is cool, right?
Yep, you're all good.
All right, cool.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 19, and I'm bringing Kevin White on today, who is a men's physique competitor. And man, you hit it hard this year. So how many shows did you do this year?
Well, this year we decided to only we wanted to be strategic about it, and especially after the quarantine, it was hard to try to figure out what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed ready. And we ended up doing 2 shows. We did North Americans and then followed up with Team Universe after that, or NPC Universe, should I say, after that.
Yeah.
So at national level, it's pretty competitive.
And you've been competing since, well, I'm looking at the NPC website, and it looks like 2015. Is that when
Correct.
You started?
Yeah.
Okay. And you even did a lot of shows that year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen,
wow.
It's kind of a different league now, a lot of new faces, and, it's just a different game. When we came in, we used to hit it hard back then, just coming up,
Yeah,
I had a lot of, a lot of people I looked up to, I followed, and a lot of my friends, it was very competitive, but it was fun, like we were always in the gym anyway. And, once this whole men's physique thing, really jumped off, it was like, we're always in shape. So let's just give it a go,
For sure. So then how did you get started then? We can just roll into that then.
I mean, I was always an athlete. I played sports through high school. I boxed before bodybuilding. And, I had a couple injuries in boxing. I broke my hand a few times. So I said, I don't want to get beat up for a living. So I just stuck to like the whole, I was just working out. I worked out every day. And, the category came out, men's physique. And, it kind of fit me. I never stepped on a bodybuilding stage before, but I had a lot of friends who bodybuild. I had a few friends that were pro already, men's physique pros. So they kind of put me under their wing and showed me a few things or two, the nutrition part and, how to train properly for bodybuilding as opposed to just being in the gym, and, it worked out. My first competition, I didn't place last. So,
Hey,
so that was a start, that was a start.
Definitely. What was it? Was it the Great Lakes Championship? Is that the first?
No, my first show ever was actually Atlantic States.
Okay.
So,
I see that now.
I was always told, like, look, do the big shows, get the exposure. Even coming in, I didn't know what exposure I was looking for, but they told me do the big shows. So all my friends, a few of my friends were pro already. They were doing big shows. So I said, I'll do the big shows. And I kind of just, I was lucky to have good mentors and people to look up to that guided me right, because it's a few directions you can go in this sport. But the people that were in my corner, I was lucky to have, and they showed me the right things, and I was pretty successful. I stuck to it. I think that's the main thing. People get discouraged; they don't get the placements they want, and it's not NPC is not easy. I mean, especially over here, like this whole northeastern region it's a hard area to compete in. So, if you're doing well over here, I think overall you're pretty successful.
Yeah, East Coast is a big crowd. I mean, I've never done a West Coast show, but I can only imagine just because, I don't know, this is just where it's at,
It's like the Mecca, you know what I mean? I mean, no disrespect to the West Coast, but, it's just with the whole Bev's Francis thing over here and, the judges that we it's an honor to have them, Steve, Maz, we even get to experience Gary Udit and Sandy when we do the national level shows or we go to the Mid-Atlantic. So it's a lot over here. I think overall this is one of the best regions to compete in,
I agree. I definitely agree. I think that a lot of the judges are from this, like Sandy's from Pennsylvania, and then you got Steve and everyone. Like, I just feel like they're going to favor this side. I'm sorry, they will.
Where the heart is.
Definitely. So what you got from boxing when you were boxing, like, because that's a lot of cardio. So I'm assuming
it's a lot. It's totally different. So I wasn't as heavy as I am now. I was a lot lighter. I was about 140. So when I got into the body building aspect of it, I think that like the discipline because it was a lot more hours in the gym. You're not just boxing, like you said, the cardio, then you had to do weight training as well. So I was younger. I had more time, as you get older, like you work more, your time it's more valuable, should I say, and you have less of it. So I really had to make some decisions in life. Like, if I'm not going to try to be a pro boxer, I'll forever love the sport. But
Mhm.
at that time in life, I said I had to make some decisions. And, once one of my older friends talked me into the bodybuilding thing, and I really got to look at it, I said, I think this is something I'll try. Once I stepped on the stage,
Mhm.
I said, now I want to win.
Yeah.
So it was like a new journey for me. And it's funny because it was like an underground sport. Like, nobody knows about this. I mean, now the fitness industry is booming, but even back then, 5, 6, 7 years ago, it was like an underground sport, so it was pretty exciting, something new.
Yeah, and that's really cool to hear it from your perspective from for all the years ago, because like you're saying that it was underground and everything, and it exploded because, your division has a lot of competitors. I've
Oh
seen the
yeah, yeah,
shows where you guys are crammed up there, and I'm
yeah.
sure the national level really shows it.
It does, it does. But it's really an honor to step on the stage, and after you put so much time in, and I mean, just to be where you are, like I didn't go pro yet. I missed going pro by a few placings. I placed fourth at North Americans. I placed fifth at Universe. But just to be right there and see the hard work pay off, like it's really rewarding within itself to step on that stage. And you know, just think about it. Miami Nationals was this weekend, and how many people before you, some of the top level pros, they stepped on these stages before you. So just to grace that stage, I mean, I think some athletes really got to understand, it's not always about the placing. You're gaining so much knowledge behind it as well. So, you really got to, it keeps you humble and hungry. That's what I tell a lot of my clients. Like, I coach a few kids on the side, train a few people, and I tell them, the sport keeps you humble and hungry, but it's making you better at the same time.
Definitely. And I'm sure with the amount of shows that you've done, it really shows that you're putting in your time.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
get that there's some kids that just roll into this sport, and sometimes they've got the genetics or whatever, and they just like happen to be at the right place at the right time. And they go, I've seen girls even at the nationals yesterday, there was a girl that said she went pro in a year. And I'm just like,
yeah. Listen, I've seen it too, and more power to them. I mean, if they had the genetics and the coaching to get there that fast, I bow down to them, so, but for everybody, it's not that easy. You know what I mean? And I really respect everybody in this sport, especially in NPC, because, it's other leagues you can go to that aren't as competitive, but if you stick this out, that shows a lot. You learn how to take a loss to get that W that you want.
mm-hmm.
So it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone to the next league. We know what the next league is.
I know. And then you're like back down at the bottom of the totem
Yeah,
pole. And
yeah.
then,
So
it's always,
you got to learn how to take that L sometimes. You know what I mean? And but you stick it out. Like I said, it's rewarding within itself.
yeah, it's a really good lesson to give people about just being humble, because
Yeah,
you think about how the sport's just getting bigger and bigger. People come out of nowhere
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it is. But, getting on stage every single time will teach you a different lesson.
It will. You learn a lot about yourself
Yeah, right.
throughout the prep. Throughout the off season. It's not really an off season. It's more like a product. Trying to get better. You're trying to get better, but you learn a lot about yourself every prep. Every prep you learn a lot about yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And from I don't know if you can remember, but from the very beginning, what was your first kind of feedback that you got from a judge? Was there something from the very beginning that
Oh
was
yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, I need to learn how to pose. Listen, you have a wonderful body, but you have to learn how to present your body. I mean, like I said, I learned from my friend. My first show, when I went to the Atlantic States
yeah.
back in 2015, I had a friend. He was already pro. He showed me a little bit, showed me how to pose, showed me a few things, but I didn't have a coach yet, and he actually helped me out until he moved. And when he moved, I wanted to go with somebody a little hand, and that's when I got my first coach about a year later. But I actually won my first overall just off the guidance of one of my friends. And
Awesome.
after that, I was already taking it pretty serious. But then I said, maybe I could go pro one day. I had aspirations of going pro, and I said, if I'm going to do that, I think I'm going to look into investing in myself. And I think that's what a lot of kids need to learn about this sport now. Not just to, you have people of all ages compete. So I don't want to call them kids, but, invest in yourself. You have to invest in when it comes to the posing, when it comes to even your training. Everybody doesn't know how to train properly. And when I see what these women put into the sport, I'm like, wow. Before I got with my fiance, I didn't know how much a suit. I said, you spend how much on a suit? And it's like, wow. So between that and the tan and the traveling, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. So to not invest in yourself and to spend all this money on these things, I mean, you all want to win, right? So that helps you get to that next level, So
right.
it's
And
important.
I think in your division, honestly, I don't even know much about the shorts. I know I talked about you about that on Instagram. I was like, I'm actually really curious. Like, how do you guys go about picking your board shorts? And compared to like the little like men's open bikini, like their little like.
That's funny you said that. Because I don't bodybuild, so I don't know how they would go about picking it. I don't know if it's off color. I guess it's a preference thing, but you get the feedback from the judges. And one of the things over even the past 3 years, the shorts have changed. You have new brands out here, Dark Sport and Chula. Shouts to all of them. We used to do a lot of Hurley, but it's funny you said that because I got feedback. I won a show in Ohio last year, and I got feedback from the judges, and they said, you should come out to nationals. Only one thing we want from you, Cam. We want your shorts to be a little bit tighter. We want to see more legs.
Tighter.
So although they're not judging our legs, they wanted our shorts a little bit shorter. We used to wear the shorts below the knee. It was a look, Now they want the shorts a little above the knee. So I just listen to what the judges say. So when I go back to the gym, I'm like, okay, now I got to train legs a little harder to make these short fit tight because they're looking at our legs now. And that was a misconception too, that a lot of men's physique guys don't train legs. Overall, I just think any division, it's about your overall body. You want your body to be symmetric. Yes. You don't want to have a bigger lower half. And so if the judge is telling me my look is fine and they want my legs to show a little more, obviously they like my legs, so. But that's the new look now. I think 18 and 19 inch board shorts for any of the guys listening out there. That's the feedback they're looking for. So that they're giving out. So. And
that's because you're right, because the legs will give more shape. And exactly. I know, and you guys want such a nice V at the top.
Exactly.
That little bit of leg. I mean, Jeremy I never say his last name right, but Benduia or whatever, he always had that overall.
Yeah, he did. He did. I mean, and some guys, they do train legs a little bit, and they had that, so they showed theirs before, but I think it's going more towards that. Me personally, I think it looks better. Listen, I'm lucky enough to have my fiance. I'm like, babe, how's this look? You know what I mean? Like, and she likes them. So if she likes it, I love it. You know what I mean? I get her feedback before I go out there, and knock on wood, it works for the judges. They like it too. So sure. Yeah. I think the shorter shorts, the 18, 19 inches is a better look right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I'm kind of browsing through, but looks like a lot of the color you chose is like blue.
What show?
Well, I did look at the Ohio show.
Yeah, when I did the Ohio show, I chose blue.
Blue.
Me personally, I don't know. I can't really say I don't like the bright colors because the blue was a bright. I try to get something like just like a solid, like a bait. I'm not real flashy, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not one of them guys, but
And then here, this one looks almost black.
Oh yeah, that was back in what? I think like 2016, 2017.
Yeah, I just kind of randomly picked one. It was like a 2016.
That's when Hurley was a thing. So we used to wear the Hurley shorts, and you bringing back some memories there.
I see that. Yeah, these are pretty cool. This is camo here.
Yeah, I had my camo thing going for a while. That was the Lehigh. I actually won the overall there. And
yeah, that's what I was. I did say first here.
2017, I won the overall there. So that was I actually won that show twice. I won it last year, 2019. Kim came there with me. We won the overall together. So.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's where I met Kim. So and I don't think I got to meet you just because that was the only show I did last year and everything. But okay, and then here you went with more of like I guess that's like
that was
red or.
Yeah. Went with the red, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to pick a solid though, like I said, I don't want. I want my body to be the main focus. I don't want the shorts to. I mean, and I know some guys like the bright shorts. They feel like the bright shorts will get them a better call out. But I want my attention to be my body. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
I try
for
to stay
sure.
with a base color, a solid color.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen some bright pink
Yeah.
before, or just other bright colors. And it's interesting that you say that too about like flashy, because something that comes to my mind is Raymond. Didn't he? He
Yeah.
usually does like stripes or something like that, black and
Yeah.
white
Yeah.
stripes. Because to me, that's like, I always thought that that was really flashy to me, just like
Well,
big
I
bold
think
stripes.
see, he's fortunate enough to have dark sport backing. They create the you know, and I think that's huge because his is almost based off his hometown. I notice he does a lot of yellow for Pittsburgh and the Birds. So I think that's cool, you know. And
Mhm.
I'm big on the elements. You know, he competes at his home at home, Pittsburgh, Ohio. You know, you look good, you feel good. So if he's coming out there in his hometown with his hometown colors, he's feeling pretty good. So and obviously they look good on him. You know what I mean? So
Mhm. And I
yeah,
remember them because, to
yeah,
be honest,
it
like,
stands out. Yeah,
I
it stands
can't
out.
think of I remember the pink shorts that I saw. It was an amateur, but
Yeah,
like when I think of Raymond, I remember his shorts because they were
yeah,
just so bold.
yeah,
But that was interesting to me because I'm like, you guys, like us girls, we can put designs and stuff on our bikinis, but then you as a men's division, I think you guys are the only ones that really get a little bit of design to
we
your
get to have
outfit.
fun. We get to have fun. You know, I never heard the judges say any feedback about the shorts color wise, but so I think that's where we get to get away with a few things. Hey, listen, that's where your personality comes in, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as the length, I know that they like the shorter shorts now, like 18, 19 inch. They just want to see that right above the knee, you know. They want to see some type of leg. So
Yeah, right.
yeah.
And then, I mean, how tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
Okay, because I see you're mostly like in the D class whenever I'm
Yeah, I
scrolling
don't know.
through. And
I don't know if I grew or the classes just got bigger because they moved us up to. I've been F class all year this year, so I was like,
oh,
wow, yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what I
some
say.
shorter people coming in or something. Because I know, with the height class and everything, it's because you guys are like the girls where we go by height class. And then once you start seeing those higher numbers, you're like, well,
I know at nationals it's a lot, it's tighter as well. So they really hit it on the nail. They only give you about what like a half an inch leadway.
yeah.
So yeah, so they really everybody's the right height at national. But I mean, it depends on the size of the show. Like obviously, if it's a regional show, sometimes they combine classes. If the classes are smaller. So
Mhm.
yeah. So that sounds about right though. D when I was doing regional shows, I was in about D class. So
Yeah, I'm
national
seeing.
this year I've been at F. I don't know what next year will bring, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So how was the overall this year though, 2020? Because you've done national shows in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what was different about this year's national shows compared to maybe like previous ones? Because with like COVID and everything, I'm sure there had to have been something that was a little different.
Well, the training was definitely different. I mean, New Jersey, we didn't have our gyms for what? I mean, what, 5, 6, close to 7 months. So we were driving to Delaware. We had to drive an hour and a half. Yeah, yeah. We were doing what we had to do. But this, we aspire to go pro. Everybody doesn't do that. When the gym is my life, like this is, how we survive. We train clients. A lot of people have businesses they run out of the gym. So, we had to do what we had to do, unfortunately. But I don't think we really missed a beat with the quarantine. Once we found a place to train at, I know other states were open longer than we were. Coming from what, Florida, Texas, they have shows gyms to train at. But when we got to the show, I mean, I think mentally, if you stayed in the game mentally, you were okay. So when we got there, I was ready by the time I got to the state, and I kept telling myself that. So you go through a few hurdles in prep, but the adversity is always going to be there. We don't know what next year is going to bring.
Right.
And if it wasn't the quarantine, it could have been something else. Everyday life. Work. A lot of people have kids, so you got to learn how to push through the adversity. You know what I mean? Like it didn't stop. As you see, the shows went on, and for the people that were ready, they showed up. So I think that was a big lesson for everybody too. Stay ready. Don't. Nobody expected to lose the gyms, but in all fairness, the whole world was. We were all locked down. So that really took us back to other things, staying on our diet. Just like you go back to square one, home workouts. Listen, it was hard.
Oh,
It
oh,
was hard.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But we tried our best to get it done. And I think when we showed up at the national level, the placing showed that we were ready. Overall, I think compared to other years, like I said earlier, it's just the knowledge you gain. You know, you don't always get the placings you want, but you gain the knowledge and you get the feedback. And I think the judges see that you work on that. And if they see that you're working on that, you're honoring your craft, you know, and you'll get noticed. You'll get, when it's your time, you know. But until then, you just keep your head up and keep it positive, you know, just keep pushing, keep pushing.
Yeah, for sure. And like you were saying about, you know, there was no lack of competitors that I saw. It seemed like there was still, nationals still had a lot of people. It wasn't like, you know, a short of competitors to be on stage against.
I watched the females division and they were ready. Nobody missed a beat, you know. So and all around, I think it was actually a good thing to see too, because a lot of people, we were scared we weren't going to have any shows on the Northeast at all. So, you know, just to be there in the presence of the show, you know, it's COVID restrictions here and there, but just to be able to be there, I think that was, you know, as a competitor, once you smell that spray tan, you know what I mean? You know it's on. So I kind of missed that smell. So just to be able to be there, you know, I don't know the last time I haven't been to a show, and not just as a competitor, but like to not go to a show all season. So it was a pretty good feeling. It was a pretty good feeling overall. Yeah,
for sure. And let's see, because North Americans was the first one this year. Have you done North Americans before?
Yeah, I did North Americans in 2017.
Okay. And I mean, you sure got to see what it was like to be, you know, indoors and then in a tent.
Yeah, I think overall Gary ran a wonderful event, you know, considering all the obstacles. You know, if you ask me, I liked it better. You know, we got we got to know our placings like right away. You know, there was no day show and night show. So you know, for everything that was going on with the, you know, I take my hat off to them guys because the event was ran smooth. You know, I understand you know, it's a lot of things that could have happened, should have happened, but you know what? We got out there, we got to showcase our talents, and overall, I think they did a wonderful job.
Yeah, and the live stream was great.
Oh, I mean, our family back home got to watch, our friends, you know, people that couldn't be there because of the COVID restrictions. So, you know, overall, I think it was a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yeah. And it looked like you guys got great photos and stuff. The way that they had the tent, it seemed like everybody still got good photos. Because I've seen some other shows now where they were in tents and the lighting just didn't, it was kind of hit or miss. So I'm glad that North Americans was good.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you and Kim both got to do that show together. So, you know, I'm sure you guys have done shows together before, right?
Yeah. Just about every show.
Yeah. And that seems to work for you guys, right?
I mean, it has its challenges. You know, we got to figure out, listen, if we're driving, if we're flying, you know, if we're driving out, obviously, females go on first for national shows. So I try to drive out we just try to, it's all about planning it out. And I think this year with the COVID, it was hard to plan.
Yes.
You know, so it had its challenges at times, you know, but both of us being in prep at the same time, our schedules being off, you know, but I think the support is the best thing. And, you know, that to have your significant other support, somebody that understands what you're going through, how you feel, that really keeps you going. You know, that really keeps you going.
And I'm sure it's the goal, but man, I really hope you guys end up turning pro at the same time.
Yeah, listen, that's the goal. That's the goal. I always told her, you know, I believe in her so much. And I told her, listen, I believe she'll go pro before me, you know, and that's how much I believe in her, you know, even if it's the same day, listen, she went pro before me, you know what I mean? So, honestly, if we go pro together, that's like one of my dreams.
Yeah.
Go pro at the same show. I don't know too many people. I know it's couples who've done that in the past, but me personally, I don't know too many. I'm not going to say we'll be the first. But we'll be the first that I know.
And that would be just so cool because then I would be like, well, I know you guys will do the pro debut together too.
Yeah. I mean, we got to get like an overall picture. You know what I'm saying? Because that'd be something great. It's like a milestone. You know, it's a milestone. So
Yeah, that's so cute. It'd be a cute little love story. Yeah. So how was the recent national show then? So how was, you know, being at Universe? Because I would assume you've done Universe before because it's usually closer to where you live.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're an hour or so out, so usually it's right here in Jersey. But you know, we had to travel to Charleston. in South Carolina. I think overall it was a great event as well.
Mhm.
Placed top 5.
Yeah, that's
I placed
great.
5th
Yeah.
this show. So, I mean, we didn't get the card, but we walked out with some hardware.
Mhm.
Like I said, thank you to Maz and Steve and everybody that from the Northeast that helped put the event together.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, it couldn't be here back at home. That's the only thing I could have asked for, but it was a great event. It was a great event, and like, I understand how hard these guys work to put everything together, to find a new location, to find it's hard enough to find locations here at home.
Yeah.
So to relocate it to Charleston, and I mean, also to see a lot of our friends that showed up from New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, from all the Northeast areas, it was great. It was great. I think that shows how big the sport is and how much we
Mhm.
love it.
Right. Yeah, and everyone's willing to travel at this
Yeah,
point because
yeah. Like,
yeah.
we've been sitting in the house,
Yeah.
like home workouts, and some people's, like, I know Philadelphia, they shut down Friday night, right? So they don't even have
Yeah.
gyms now.
Yeah, because I know
So
I'm in Pittsburgh, and I feel like Philly's doing something different than
the
Pittsburgh.
walls are closing in on us. Yeah, like we're
Like,
literally we're like 2 minutes from Philadelphia, so we're like in the panic mode right now. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah,
But
and then Ohio has a curfew, so I'm like, I'm hoping Pennsylvania doesn't get a curfew, but they're just telling us to wear more masks. So
yeah,
I'm
same.
like, I'll do the more masks. And then, did you ever have to wear a mask this year on stage? Did they make you?
No, we didn't have. I seen some shows where they did, but we didn't have to wear masks this year. We didn't have to wear masks. I know backstage they had the mask. The COVID restrictions, you had to wear masks and stuff like that. Throughout the hotels, you had to wear masks, but on stage we didn't have to.
That's good. That's
I
great.
don't know if that was more of a West. I know that some of the shows, some of the Spectrum shows, they had to wear masks in the West. So I don't know what region that was, but I did see it.
Yeah, you're right. It was a lot of like California and
Yeah,
everything else. And I'm
yeah,
so shocked about how like they're already preparing for Las Vegas to shut back down and
yeah.
move and
I
all
mean,
that.
we were speaking of that the other day. Like, I know when we were gonna make a push and we were gonna go to Miami. We booked the flights and everything, but I said, you know what, we have to be smart about it. Placing
Mhm.
5th, I want to make the right adjustments to come back and solidify that first spot.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the time off to adjust and
Mhm.
do what we have to do.
Mhm.
But just trying to get our money back and rearrange flights and hotel. And I mean, I feel sorry for all the competitors. Not just the competitors, but imagine what the promoters are going through as well, trying to find you know what I mean? Like it's hard for everybody right now.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
hard
don't
for
know how they're
everybody.
making
So,
any money.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
I can't even imagine. And then there's no way that they're really going to be allowed an expo. I mean,
exactly.
just insane. I mean, I'm like I said, I am glad that they are starting to do at least the live streams
Yeah.
because I totally get why they want to, charge them because
Oh
it
yeah,
was
everything.
nice that
Yeah,
North
every
American
yeah,
was
yeah.
free. But yeah, at least they're getting that live stream pushed because I'm like, all right, guys, like this should have been something that already happened with most shows.
Yeah.
So let's like
Well,
continue it and invest in that
respect
stuff.
to our fellow competitors because they're helping keep the sport alive by even just showing up to these events. You, me,
Mhm.
all the other competitors out there that are competing. So respect to the competitors, because without us it wouldn't be a sport. And I think this year really showed how much we enjoy what we do. We love what we do. For a lot of people, I don't even think it's about going pro, honestly. Like this when you shut the gyms down, you saw the reactions to that. I think this is what we do. This is who we are. This is their life.
Yeah,
This is
I
their life.
agree because I'm in no rush to be a pro. I
Yeah,
really just enjoy the experience. I'm
yeah,
sure, you've done so many shows. I'm sure you've met so many cool people backstage and made
yeah,
friends. And
yeah.
even that's just a huge fun part of competing.
Listen, just getting to travel and eat.
Yeah, true.
That's so fun. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, the people you meet, the relationships you build, the networks you make, you know, you never know where to go. Like I tell some people, you do it because you love to do it.
Yeah.
Some people go in different directions. You got judging. Some people
Mhm.
go, they be promoters. You never know where you'll end up, but enjoy the ride and build your network as you go.
For sure.
Build your network as you go. One day I might be a promoter. I might be a judge. Who knows? Yeah,
Yeah.
I might, I do a little coaching now. I want to say, but I might be a big time, but in the meantime, I'm enjoying my journey. You know what I mean? So let's just we'll see where it turns out. Right now, the ultimate goal is the pro card.
Yes. Right.
Those
Right.
baby steps, and
Mhm.
where it leads after that, we'll see. maybe one day I'll get to grace the Olympia stage. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, and that would be so cool. I can't even imagine. I feel so bad for the people that did have to back out this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Could you imagine,
The
like,
restrictions and it's a lot. It's a lot. You understand the prep that we all go through, an Olympia prep, and especially if it's your first one, and you just don't know what's going to happen. Even next year, we don't know what's going to happen for the shows next year. So, yeah, Olympia is a big thing.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, with the national shows, um, it seemed pretty. I mean, I know you did 2 of them, but I mean, you still had that option where it's really interesting that a lot of the national shows are so close.
Yeah.
In previous years when you have all year, they're a little more like maybe once a month or whatever. But now it's like you can go every week.
Yeah, the way they fell out this year, it's like we got a few shows left to get the car within the next few weeks too. So yeah.
I'm sure this is great for amateurs right now. They're like, if you get second place, you're like, well, I cannot just not do the next national.
And that's the thing about pushing. It's like you want to push, but like I said, I think just sitting back. I've been in the game for a while, so and your body, I think the best move, and I had to talk to Kim about this as well. I think the best move for the both of us was to really sit back, see what we need to do, and make the adjustments. We got the feedback from the judges to solidify that number 1 spot going into the show. Because, we all prep to win. Listen, if I become an IFBB pro at one of the shows where top 2 go pro, that's fine. And second, that's fine. But ultimately, I would love to win the overall at whatever show I go to. So to move up from 4th and 5th to 1st, 2nd overall, that area, I think it's a little bit of mentally growing we have to do. I think physically we're right there, but it's just small things, and I want to make those small correct for the both of us. For the both of us, and it's a tough decision to sometimes to have to sit down and make that decision. Because look, my mind's going like go, but my body's like, Kev. So you got to be strategic about these things too. So I still don't know the schedule next year.
Yeah.
So it's a risk. Like, listen, should we really went to Miami or Orlando this past week? Should we do Vegas in 2 weeks? Like how should we do it? But I think we're making the right decision.
Yeah, and plus, this isn't your first rodeo. You've done many years, and you kind of know what to do. So even if you take like, how long do your off seasons typically last?
Well, I think it's going to depend on what our plan is for next season. What national shows are available.
Yeah.
And once the show schedule comes out, which we'll probably get a plan together then.
Okay.
But right now it's like, look, we took this. We worked out a few days this week light. I wanted to take this week to reflect, watch. I wanted to watch the Orlando show, see who placed in the Orlando show and how that went. And we'll go back tomorrow, Monday. We got a little game plan going back in, target areas we want to hit to start. So our off season is officially started, but it's about progression. You know what I mean? We got to eat a little bit this past week. Now it's game time, So once we find the schedule, we'll be able to come up with what shows we're gonna hit. Because we travel together, we hit them together. You know what I mean? And we don't know if Universe will be in Jersey this year. We don't have to relocate that. We don't know how USA's is looking. So I think once the schedule comes out, we'll have a better peace of mind about that.
Was there any shows that you wanted to do that got canceled this year?
Well, my target was honestly, I was going straight to North Americans. I thought that'd give me a whole year. From last year, I did Universe last year. That would give me a whole year, and plus some, to make the adjustments I needed from last year to this year, and which it did. And luckily, North Americans didn't get pushed back. So I think I was right on the money with that. Yeah. So being that we were in quarantine, and I think we were down for about 2 months, from like March to mid-May, till we started doing some home workouts as far as like getting into. You have friends who have gyms, so we were building little gyms, and we got to get in there. I think Delaware opened back up in maybe like July, so we really got to go down Delaware and work out. And my prep didn't start until about the end of June, July, unfortunately, because I had to wait for gyms to open up. So once I found out the gyms open and North Americans was still on, I think that gave me like a little under 9 weeks to prep. And then, for me, that's enough time. I'm not one of these guys that gets way overweight in off season. I stay within 10 pounds of my stage weight. So I think I hit the off season right, considering the quarantine. I hit my prep right, and you know, I went out there and placed fourth. So you know, we tried to prep for 9 more weeks and go back out there, and I got fit. So I'm right at that mark right now. I'm right at that mark. So still chipping away.
Yeah, yeah, you got time and you're enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask too, how long have you been a coach for?
Well, I've been coaching for about 2 years now.
Okay.
You know, I see a lot of people like, you know, they do a show, they go coach. You know, that wasn't one of, you know,
Hmm.
I wasn't really advertising. I had a few guys who wanted to compete, and they would talk to me about it. You know, they felt comfortable coming to me, and they wanted me to show them the ropes.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I mean, they were pretty successful. I took a guy to Lehigh last year. He won first in his class. I took him to Ohio the week after. He decided to do the open class that week. He won second in his class that week. I had a few other athletes compete, and they placed as well. And you know, they're doing pretty good. So, you know, I'm
Yeah,
not
that's a
going to
good
sit
way to
here
go.
and toot my own horn and say I'm like the best coach in the world, but you know, I show them what I know, and I try to put them on to the knowledge. You know, listen, understand the sport. You know, understand what you're doing. Understand you might not always go up there and win, and that's not what it's about. You know, and if you get certain things through your head and you learn to enjoy the journey, I think they'll have a good ride.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would assume that you usually get to go to the shows and be there
Oh
with
yeah, I
them.
try to go to all of them. I try to listen. I try to go to all the local shows I can go to. Anyway, I just love the sport.
Yeah,
But yeah, you know, I think it's big to be there, especially you know, you have amateur athletes that are starting out. You know, for the support. The support is big. The support is big.
yeah. It is
Yeah.
nice to have people in the audience and just, you know,
Listen, just having them backstage. You know, like when you're backstage, you know, and it's times I've been at shows. I've been backstage by my. Well, you know, for me it was different. I was already a little more experienced, but at starting out, you know, you don't want to be backstage by yourself. You know.
yeah,
You don't
yeah,
know what's going on. You don't know what to do. You know, so I like for the overall experience. You know, win or lose, I think it's great to be there for an athlete. You know,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen athletes. They have coaches who weren't there who don't
yeah.
check in with them. You know, so I said, wow, that's pretty rough. But it happens. It happens. You know, it happens.
Yeah, and backstage is like, you know, where you really get to meet and talk to the other competitors. You know, you're
Yeah,
not talking to them on stage. So
yeah,
backstage, you know, it's nice to be friendly. I would assume you've met some really friendly people in your division and everything.
yeah. I mean, for you know, a lot of guys. When I started out, you know, some of these guys are top Olympians now. That you know, I've watched in my division in classes ahead of me compete at regional shows, and so like I said, you know, it's really an honor to step on stage because you're following in so many of the greats' footsteps, and you never know where you'll lead to. I'm sure when they were stepping on stage, they were stepping on stage for the same reasons we were. A
Mhm.
friend talked them into it. They looked good or whatever. They fit this division and they tried it, and it led them to where they are now. They gained success at doing what they're doing. It takes time. You know, it takes time. But if you stick it out, it's rewarding within itself. It makes you a better person overall. When you step off stage and you see the stage pictures and what you accomplished, you feel good about yourself, you know, and you carry yourself differently.
For sure.
And you feel good, you look good, you know, and it's that simple, really. It's really that simple.
Hmm. So with posing and stuff now, I wanted to go back to that too, because um, you did talk about how you have to invest in posing and everything. So like, obviously your first show, you said that posing was something you had to work on. So what did you do? Like, did you find someone in your gym to help you? Did you hire someone?
Well, luckily I still had my friend, you know,
Yeah.
Mario DeLuca, shouts to him. You know, he was already an IFBB pro.
Hmm.
And listen, I was living down in Hamilton at the time. When I say invest in yourself, I was driving to Patterson 2.5 hours a week, twice a week, to go up here and work out. And listen, he offered it to me. He didn't charge me anything, you know. So just to be there and show up, like I said, gain all the knowledge you can gain. I was soaking it all in. I would go up there with him twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, and I would train all night with him. He
Hmm.
showed me everything he could show me, you know. And coming up over here, like New York, it was very competitive. Like I said, a lot of these guys are top Olympians now. So to go to these shows we were doing, Eastern USA's, East Coast Championships, Atlantic State, those are all big shows.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's either going to make you or break you. You know, like if you don't know how to swim and you get in the water for the first time, you know, like you sink or swim. You know what I mean? But it was overall, when I look back at it, I don't think I would have changed anything.
Hmm.
It was a great experience, and he taught me how to pose.
Yeah, it
it's just
seems like
practice.
you really want your shoulders to pop. And then it's interesting because you guys have like that tilt to the legs and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, although it's just standing there and looking good, it's a lot more than just standing there and looking good. It's not as easy, and especially starting out. Once you repetition and you practice things, that's why we make it look so easy. But, I even go back and look at some of my old show photos. I'm like, from then, I'm like, yeah, it's sometimes it's a total three, and you learn. Every year you learn and you get better.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah,
Do you do
that's all it was
anything?
for me. It was just showing up and learning.
Mhm.
Once I found a coach and I found a posing coach, I got better.
Yeah.
And the game changed a little bit. I know our posing changed from men's physique from 2015 to now,
Okay.
so that was big too. That was big too.
Is it mostly the front pose or which one probably
Well, I
changed
know
your mind?
we they used to want us flat on the line, so there's really no flat on the line anymore.
Okay.
You can finesse your posing a little bit,
Mhm.
but I mean that comes with experience. Listen, a lot of guys, especially starting out, they want to do everything they see on the internet, and you got to find a pose that fits your body. And that was also some feedback we got from the judges. I want to overall, and she wasn't necessarily talking to me, but sometimes you like to go to these like the meetings before the shows,
Yeah.
and you go and you listen to what the judges say. And that was one of the things they were stressed. A lot of guys and women too, they want to pose like they see some of their favorite athletes pose, although their body might not fit that. You got to
Mhm.
find poses that fit your body. And I was like, she's right. and,
No,
and,
it's
it, and,
so
it, and,
true.
it's, and it's true. Everybody they don't look the best in this pose, and
Mhm.
that's something that your posing coach brings out. They know the game, their experience, and they're going to help you bring your best out. So
Mhm.
that's something huge. I can't stress that enough. If you want to win and you want to reach the next level and you're serious about what you're doing, invest in a posing coach, invest in a coach, somebody, if you don't know these things, somebody who is experienced in nutrition and who can help you get there. That's a coach's job, to take the player where the player can't go. So if you don't know these things, you don't want to be spending all this money and be lost in the sauce, because it's not a good feeling when you lose.
I like that.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And plus you pay a coach because I don't want to think about it. I'm paying
yeah,
you to tell me what to do and I listen
exactly,
and
exactly.
there's that too.
And look, some people are like that. They could follow a plan, and then you got people who want to do it on their own. And listen, if they can do it on their own, more power to them. Yeah, I don't take that away from them. But for me starting out, I think finding
Yeah.
a coach that fits you, and investing in that area, that was one of the best things I could have done.
Hmm. Definitely. And
Yeah.
I was curious, do you do anything to keep your waist small? I mean, I'm sure you naturally have a small waist, but do
Yeah,
you
naturally I
practice
have a
the back
small
end?
waist, but I mean the waist trainers don't help. Don't hurt. They don't hurt.
Right. Hmm.
I mean, honestly, I think it's like, if you want a certain muscle group to grow, you work it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I still hit core exercises. It's waist exercises you can hit. I know my waist shrinks as soon as I go into prep and I start hitting cardio. I'll shrink about an inch or two. So,
Hmm.
cardio won't help. I like to keep it tight. So even you're not hitting cardio yearly throughout the year, especially when I'm not in prep. I try to. I stay away from that thing. But
Oh, well,
you know, I like to keep it tight. So
yeah.
the diet, like I said, the diet won't hurt.
Mhm.
But everybody's body is different. Everybody's body is different.
Yeah.
But I think if the waist is one of the things you're trying to stress, watch your diet, the waist trainer when you work out, the waist trainer when you do cardio, and practice your posing.
Yeah.
They don't understand. A lot of people don't understand that. When you pose, you want to try to show your best parts and what you do got, and you want to hit your money shots and get out of there. At least for us.
Yeah.
So if you got a bigger waist, or try to pose or have your posing coach work with you on a way where you could present your body where your waist doesn't look as big. And that takes time.
Right. Exactly.
Once again, invest in yourself. Spend the time posing that you need, whether it's 20 minutes, a half hour, an hour. I know guys that pose for an hour a day
Yeah.
and go on stage and they look amazing. And they're
Mhm.
like, wow, how's he look? He does this for an hour a day. You know what I mean? After he works out and does his cardio, you honor your craft. When you invest in yourself, it pays off.
Yeah, the endurance and the practice. I mean, you want
Yeah,
that to be like second nature. And
exactly.
even like you said too, like as amateurs, you kind of don't get that much stage time like a pro
No, you
would.
don't,
Because
especially
I didn't realize that.
yeah, I
You,
think for a routine, we get about 8 or 9 seconds. It's like front pose, back pose, front pose.
Yeah, and then
Got to get out
like
of there. So literally
the
that fit
national
just that
stage.
fast. I'll be walking off stage. So
Yeah, they'll be like
yeah,
do a front and a back and get off because national stage with so many people. I mean, I'm sure they can pick out their top 5 or 10 right away. So
yeah,
it might
yeah.
be.
I mean, sometimes you're looking at 30, 40 guys in the class, and I'm sure it's not an easy job for the judges, but you got such a short amount of time to present your body. You want to practice that. You want to honor that. You want to know how to pose when you get up there. So it's important. It's important.
So what's in your diet? Just like general, like are you more of a high carb guy, low or high fat?
I'm an ectomorph, so I get away with a lot of things a lot of people couldn't get away with.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I sit down with my coach, and we go over a plan and we stick to that plan.
Yeah.
If I got to eat more, I eat more. If I got to eat less, I eat less. But I think overall, when it comes to the diet and nutrition, like off season, I high proteins, high carbs for me. That's what works best for my body. But I think for men's physique, we don't have a weight class.
Yeah.
So
True.
it's all about your look,
Mm-hmm.
how you look show day. And I think a lot of people just get so crazy in the head with the diet thing. For instance, I could come in on stage at 5-6% body fat, and that's where I'm just saying, I'm throwing a number out there. That's where my body might look good at.
Mm-hmm.
Where the next person might come in at 2-3%, and they look good at that. Find out your body and what works for you, and you won't fail.
Yeah.
Tilapia and asparagus might not work for everybody, and I'm being real. Listen,
Yeah.
it might not work for everybody. You know what I mean? I might be able to walk in on stage holding a little bit more water than the next person and look good with that.
Mm-hmm.
They might not be able to do that. So you really got to learn your body. And I think, once again, we go back to the investment part. That's where a coach comes in at. If you have a coach, a nutritionist who knows what they're doing, you can't fail.
And how long have you been with your coach?
I've been with now I'm coached by Rich Tuma, and I've been with my coach for going on 4 years now.
Yeah, and you consistently, you guys probably build that relationship, and he knows what works for you. Obviously, it's working. You're getting in those top call outs, and I'm sure
we don't always agree on things, and that is, like you said, relationship. That's the key. But overall, I believe that Rich, he wants what's best for me, And when I say that, I mean, I don't just mean a pro card. I mean health wise.
Yes.
As we all know, this sport can get out of control sometimes. But I think overall he wants what's best for all his athletes.
Mm-hmm.
And I trust Rich with anything that he tells me. When he writes these plans and he puts these plans together for us, I know he has 30 years plus experience. These are mapped out. Mm-hmm. I watch how he handles not just me, but all the other athletes that he, the clients he trains. And Rich wouldn't steer anybody wrong,
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't just me saying this because he's my coach, Rich wouldn't steer anybody. And that's why I continue to stick with him. Our success didn't come overnight. If you go back and look at some of my national placings, they weren't always the best, but we kept hitting it. Yeah. And you get better. Now I have my coach, I have opposing coach, Patrice, with Sassy and Classy. I've been with Patrice for the same amount of time, We kept getting better. You go look at what you need to correct, you go back to your coaches and you work on that. I don't always believe that switching coaches, and that's not always the best thing. That's not always the best thing. I like to review my notes. I like to go look back at my notes from the previous year, see what some of these athletes, they got to meet coaches halfway. Yes. You got to be able to, I believe after a certain point, your body, and you should be able to understand how your body reacts to things. And I don't think it's always the coach's job to have to sit there and tell you, okay, well, do this, do that. Yeah. Now I understand when you're in prep, your mind's in other places, but it's not always the coach's job to have to sit there. We can't hold your hand through certain things.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of things.
And I think that's the difference between a IFBB pro and an amateur athlete.
Yeah.
Not just posing on stage, but like I said, the mental part of it is big. It's huge. And you see a lot of people, they one and got done. They do one amateur show, they go pro, but mentally, are they ready for this? Like
And you're right.
how much
You're a
knowledge did they
pro.
gain? And I'm big on the knowledge part of it. How much knowledge did they gain? These guys never even been through I'm sorry to say it, but you go through one prep and then you win a pro card, but you never took defeat. I think it's important to take an L in this sport, because it'll really show you who you are and how you bounce back from that. And I think that's important.
Yes, it really is. Just your journey helps your mindset, because
Yeah.
I know, even like an example, like when I was starting out, a lot of competitors, we all have bad relationships with food. So then as you go on, things get a little easier. You kind of have a better mindset to food, and all of that at the end of the day will help you get better for every prep.
Yeah, it will. You learn your body.
So what did you have good after
Oh,
the last
listen,
show?
Charleston was one of the best places. We've been a lot of places, but I think the food down there was just different. I mean, we hit like every barbecue spot we could hit. We
I love
try to
it.
see anywhere we go, we try to see what they're known for.
Yeah.
And we just hit the list that they're known for. And we go right down the list. And I mean, you're talking about like these gigantic biscuits and I know every state's barbecue is a little different. So we wanted to look specifically what Charleston was known for. So it was the whole hog. So we have pulled pork. I mean, it was just amazing. It was one of the best food towns I've ever been to. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do love it down there. I always go
Yeah.
for like the seafood broils, and they have like a lot of
Yeah.
food in a bag.
And I mean, we were like stuck to water for like so long, like just to be able to drink. And I mean, I'm not talking about alcoholic beverages. Charleston's known for sweet tea. So I think I had about 1,000 sweet teas down there. I had to have like everybody. Yeah. I just couldn't stop drinking it after the show, So yeah, it was pretty good time food wise though.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, it was a pretty good time, but the food, it was just like, yeah, it was on the money. It was on the money.
Yeah. It is fun to go and, like you said, go to these different places and try the food and everything.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask too, just because when I was skimming through, I saw that you did the Arnold a couple years ago, right?
Yeah. I did the Arnold Amateur 2017. It was a total different show, but I mean, so many changes, but it back then it was fun. I didn't win the show, but it was fun. The experience to be on. That was my first time being on TV. My family got to watch back home, so it was an amazing. I don't even think I cared about winning that show. It was like the biggest stage I ever been on. I walked on the stage and it was just like a sea of people out there. It was like, wow. So I could imagine what the pro show felt like. You know what I mean? But it was just a sea of people out there, and the experience what you got to compete against people from all over the world. I think now it's an American show. But before it was a European ran show, So, I mean, you had what? Team Japan, Team Ireland, any team you could think of, they were there. And it was a great experience. It was really a great experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's the show that I want to do next year. So every time I see someone does the Arnold, I'm just like, how was it?
Oh, listen, you'll love it. You'll love it.
I'm just hoping they still have it in Ohio. I don't know what will happen.
Yeah.
We'll see. Because
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I heard Ohio. Didn't they did something out there? Like I think Congress ran something where they can't shut the gyms down or something. So
yeah, they put they were like, we're not going to allow this to happen. It was just
from what I'm hearing, some of the I don't know about Columbus, but I know some of the shows in Cleveland are still up and running for March.
Yeah, I was going to say the Natural Ohio is supposed to still be good for early March. I mean, they've already put it in plan. They're like
that's around the same time, so.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, well, shit. If I think that's a Dave Lieberman show.
Yeah.
Confident. He's always a pretty confident kind of guy.
Dave runs great shows too. So yeah.
Yeah, he's so excited.
Yeah. So I mean, we go to the Arnold. I mean, everybody goes to the Arnold, but I don't know how the convention part's going to be. I don't know if they'll have a convention or not. So.
I don't think
probably
so
won't be the same, right? Yeah.
There's just too many people that go.
Yeah.
I mean, we all, like you said, a sea of people.
It's a worldwide thing. Yeah. So.
I mean, if they can't let concerts and stuff, I mean, the Arnold is all, I mean, you are like butt to butt on people on Saturdays at the expo. So.
It just might be the new norm though. I mean, if streaming the shows and because Universe wasn't pretty bad. They had a little, although it was like spaced out, the seating was spaced out, they had a crowd there, but I know Pittsburgh, there was no spectator, so this might be the new norm. Like watching shows from home or something. I don't know, but how's the sport going to generate money? So that's the thing. I don't know how much money that the expos generated, but I can only imagine, especially shows like the Arnold, the Olympia, these big money places like Vegas and stuff too. So
Yeah.
What's going to happen with our sport,
Right. And like we talked about, I'm just really glad that people are still doing shows and promoters are still making it happen and not just flat out canceling. I mean, and it depends on the country too. Like, I don't think Canada was able to have too many shows. And
I got a couple friends overseas. I talked to a friend in Ireland. They're still shut down. They've been shut down, what, 7 months?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
same with Australia. Australia is just like, they're like super like telling people they can't really do too much, but they're also the ones with the lowest cases.
Yeah. So
it is what it is.
Everybody. Yeah. I want to get through the winter. We'll see what happens this winter,
Right. Because this is technically like a second wave, I guess. And then
flu season. So
I mean, who doesn't get sick in the winter? So I mean, are you really surprised? So how's the gym right now for you? Because you're back in the gym now, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're open, so we're blessed to have that. I'm not complaining. A lot of our gyms are shut down like completely. Like a lot of our home gyms, so we had to relocate. It's a lot of fitness clubs now, and I'm not complaining. It's not a bodybuilding gym. They don't have a lot of the same equipment, but we get the job done. You learn to adjust.
It really is.
Yeah. You're just. We're fortunate to have a gym to go to.
Right. I'm just like, I just need equipment. Like I can only
exactly. After quarantine, you're just like, I don't care. Just give me. And I don't care if it's rusted. Like just.
And I work from home now. Like my computer's set up. And I live alone. So I'm like, if I didn't have the gym, I don't know what I would do. Like I literally have to leave to go somewhere, which is the gym.
Yeah. And I mean, it's forcing a lot of people to build home gyms too, or not even a home gym, just have the basic equipment you need. I got dumbbell, because if we shut down again, it's like, this, like my mind's already in panic mode, So I just want to be prepared. I want to be prepared,
Yeah. So what body part are you working on now then? Because I know you said your legs is something that you want to focus on with your shorts, but is there anything else? Like, I mean, obviously you want to work on everything, but like, what's your favorite thing to work out on?
Oh man, overall, listen, I think it's just overall a better body. You're never going to get the perfect body, but you strive for perfection, and when you do what we do, it's like you're getting judged on this. So I think you double down on your weak points. At this point, I'm not going to say I'm not going to expose any weak points, but but no, really, in all honesty, all jokes aside, I think it's just hitting everything a bit harder. I want to come in. I don't think weight-wise I was off. I was about 190 this year, 195 on stage, more or less. I want to come in about the same, just better, tighter, fuller. I'll see if I could take that 195 to a 200 mark and see how that looks. The 200 weight, it might not look that good on me. Some people, they gain the weight and the weight doesn't. So I think I hit it on the nail this year. Just coming in sharper is my goal for next year.
Yeah, some conditioning, a little bit of pop here and there.
Sharper, yeah.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just because I just thought about it, what are you eating backstage? Like, when you're backstage, like, is there anything that you do to like pump up or that behind the scenes stuff?
Yeah, some of my behind the scenes. I know everybody has their go-tos. I try to keep it simple. Rice cakes with peanut butter. Basically anything that'll just fill me out. And like with men's physique, a lot of it's about the look. Okay. So I don't want to get too crazy. So I'll pump. I'll eat a little bit, see how I look. Pump, eat a little bit, see how I look. I know one of the key things is coming in dry, so I try to keep my water low. But a lot of people cut their water, and they start cramping. So I try to keep my water to about 9, 10 o'clock the night before. Then I'll sip with my meals. I'll sip with my meals from there. So it's about the look. Like I said, I'll pump, eat a little bit, see how I look. By now, I know where I should be before I step on stage. So if I'm looking tight and I'm looking full, I'll try to slow down a little bit. Like I don't want to eat too, because you don't want to spill over. You want to make sure you can be able to hold that pose on stage. That if you squeeze and them abs are just too tight, then So I think this year we hit it on the nail though. Everything went how it was supposed to go. And, leading into the show, there was no stress, like my home life was pretty good. And I think that's big, because anything around you that sets you off, you know how sensitive the body is. And I mean, the stress to do it to you, especially peak week. So
Sure, yeah, and that's the work is done. Like you're supposed
yeah.
to hang out, that's a big thing with first time competitors. I feel like, I see it a lot with the girls. I don't know about the men, but the girls, like, I feel like they start to overthink and that just stresses them out. And I'm
And,
like,
and that's the thing right there, overthinking. I try to keep it simple. Like backstage, I want to keep my water to a minimum. And at least, listen, I got a Gatorade waiting for me when I get off stage.
oh, and that's
But
what you really want. That's
yeah,
your
I want to keep the water to them. I listen, all the work is done. We're right here. You're not gonna grow. Like just get a nice little pump. Keep that pump. Get out there and present your body. And I think that's what it. You don't want to overthink it. You took the words from me. That's critical backstage because you're there. You're already there. You know what I mean? Like just you want to make sure you're full stepping on stage, and all that comes from the night before. I think the night before, the preparation going into the show. If your peak week is good, you're going to have a good performance. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go out there and win because, it's variables you can't control. Who shows up? Listen, go out there and do what you're coached to do. But if your peak week is good, you'll be okay.
Yeah, keep it simple. Bodybuilding really isn't all that hard sometimes. It's different per person, but at the end of the day, you're just eating and sleeping and getting on stage and flexing.
And once again, I think that goes with if you have somebody backstage, even if it's not your coach. Listen, if you got somebody there just to say it's okay, you'll be okay because you're all in your mind. The show day. I don't care how many shows I do. If you don't feel nervous, it's not natural. Like you naturally feel these feelings going into a show. We're all humans. You're worried about. You're worried about, are you going to win? You're worried about, how do I look? You're worried about a lot of things. So, just relax. If you can relax, you'll be okay.
Yeah, we all worked hard to be there. So just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
So something I always like to ask on the podcast, I'm sure Kim might have said something, but when's your birthday?
Yeah, my birthday is in June 21st.
So I think you're a Gemini like I am. No, wait. No, you're a Cancer.
I'm right on I'm like the last day.
Cusper.
So, yeah.
Cusper. So you probably got a little bit of both in you, a little bit of caring, a little bit of talkative. I always think that stuff's so interesting just to see how people's personalities and their signs are. It's fun.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to end the show with, some words of advice to any amateurs that are in your position? I think this whole podcast had some good stuff to listen to, though.
Yeah, thank you. Listen, I would tell the people, come to NPC, keep pushing.
Yeah.
Everybody's not going to have an overnight success story. Some of them are wonderful. You read some of these stories, I went in, I did a show, I won 2 overalls, I went straight to nationals, I won. Listen, it's great. Some rides aren't going to be that easy. I think I did a lot of shows, and like I said, we came in on a different, like that's how me and my friends did. Like we'll all go do the shows together. Yeah. And one of us were going to win. Unfortunately for like my first 6 or 7 shows, it wasn't me. So I did a lot of shows and didn't place. And my biggest piece of advice would be keep going, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in you, nobody else will. And, that shows on stage, they're judging us on the stage presence. Yes. Believe in yourself. If you're confident, that shows. And get the feedback from the judges. See what you need to work on. Some people are like, they're big-headed. They don't think. We all look good at angles in our pictures. We can all take great Instagram pictures, especially in our society, our day and age. This is what we're, this was all built for us, Yes. Mm-hmm. It's different than presenting your body on the stage. Yeah. Invest in yourself. I can't stress that enough. Mm-hmm. Coaching, getting an opposing coach.
Yes.
Just
have
keep going.
Fun.
Yeah. Have fun because you will get lost in this. Overall though, I think if you're doing it right, you have fun.
You will.
If you're a person, the more you train, it's installed in you. Like, this is just what I do, as to getting up and going to the gym and dragging yourself to the gym. We love what we do. If you love what you do, it'll show. And it's rewarding within itself. I can't stress that enough. You know, you
Smile on
become a
stage.
better person. Yeah, it might not be meant for me to go pro. It might be meant for Kim to go pro, and it might have been meant for me to meet Kim to push her, or for me to meet one of my athletes and to push them, or for me to meet you and to motivate you. You know, and it's the reason behind all of this. So it makes you a better person.
It
It
does.
makes you a better person.
Everything happens for a reason, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
So your Instagram is Fit Chef Kev, right?
Fit Chef Kev, all one word. That's right.
Right.
I am a chef.
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
run
you're
a
a chef.
small meal prep business on the side, Fit Meals.
Okay,
So
so
that's
you
what I
cook
do.
up meals for people.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Fitness and nutrition, it goes hand in hand, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody needs to see. I see you got a website for it too and
I do.
everything.
FitChefKev.com.
Cool. And that is that local for in your area? What is it? New Jersey? Like just
That's local. That's local. South Jersey, Philadelphia, Central Jersey area. So, you know, I cater to everyone, not just bodybuilders, but you know, this is the everyday thing, the everyday mother, the everyday kid, high schools. We do it all.
yeah, yeah. And it's I'm sure you love to cook.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
That's
great.
what I do.
And then are you got the Northern Chill and everything? Are these like all sponsors and everything to
Yeah,
go work?
yeah. Celsius, you know, they're backing me. Northern Chill, you know, like they're backing me as well.
Yeah.
They're bodybuilding's number one water. They're, you know, they actually they're sponsoring the Olympia this year. So that was pretty cool. So just to have these opportunities are great. You know, our coach Rich Tuma, he has a supplement company. They back us as well.
Good, good.
So yeah, RTN supplements.
Mhm.
So you know, it's all coming together. You know, to have their support is huge. You know, we all need a supplement company, protein. Look, all this stuff helps. You know, it all helps.
Right, right. And you're doing the right thing. You know, you're putting content out there. You're, doing the photo shoots and everything. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I model as well. I mean, listen. I'm telling people it's rewarding within itself. You know, I've never seen any of this coming, and you know, I end up getting a contract out of that. So you know, the modeling is one of the areas I pursue. That's why I like to stay in shape a little during off season, because that's when I get to get in front of the camera and have fun, you know. And
yeah,
listen, that by itself is that's a whole nother field, you know. And I get so many connections through there. Photographers, you meet great photographers. I got to, you know, work with some of the greatest photographers in the world just this year. You know, got an opportunity to do Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. So some of these things are huge, you know, and
yeah.
like we spoke about, it's the networks that you build. So I would tell people, keep pushing, even if you don't succeed on the stage where you want to. There's so many opportunities that you get out of this, you know. Listen, if you're a person that likes to train others, you know, and you're helping people on a daily basis, change their life.
Mhm.
As you see, men and women, they could get modeling contracts out of this. You know, it's different areas you can go. You can get sponsored, if, you know, work on being a sponsored athlete and, you know, travel the country representing whatever brand you like to represent. So it's different areas you can go, not just chasing the pro card, you know. So yeah,
Especially in
keep
your
pushing.
division. I feel like,
Yeah.
everybody likes a mass monster. It looks cool and freaky. But like for men's physique, like you're able to, do the modeling. Like that's a
Yeah,
realistic look.
we got a little more options, so they
Yeah.
you know they tend to talk about us more. They don't, you know.
Yes. You guys
But
are the ones that probably make a little more money in the long run.
well, you know, I think overall the sport, you know, it is growing, and it's something for everybody out there. You know, everybody doesn't fit the bodybuilding division, you know, and a lot of women don't fit this division or that division. But if you're into it, it's something for you.
Mhm.
And I think that works out. It works out for me, you know. So I'm not gonna say it can't work out for somebody else. I don't know what their goals are. Listen, if you just want to bodybuild and chase it's nothing wrong with that. If you just want to step on stage to get a show picture to say that you did this and you accomplished something, there's nothing wrong with that. Find what fits you, you know. Find what fits you.
Mhm. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. This was a lot of really good information, and you're one of my I had a men's classic on, and now you're my first men's physique guy. So it's
Well,
really
thank you,
cool to
Paige. Thank you.
get your perspectives and everything because that's what even I want to learn more. I appreciate all divisions,
Yeah,
especially I
yeah,
like to
same
watch
here.
the men too. So
Same
yeah,
here.
thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank
And
you. The pleasure was mine.
I cannot wait for 2021. Hopefully, maybe next year, you and Kim, we can just do a group one and then
Yeah.
talk about the goals coming up.
Big things happening. So hopefully by then we can have a lot more to discuss, and we can go, we'll definitely have our plan to get, maybe we'll be pro by then. You never know. So
That's true.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
we could all end up at a show together.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much and have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, Paige. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.